Islam. Peace
and love.
We're going to fly through this video. With this intro, I'm going to begin with this. If you're a black and an African American, if you're calling yourself by these names, I'm going to let you know right now, once again, you are not a United States citizen. You are a resident, you're property, you're a subject, and you're protected and you are brought under the United States constitutional fold through the 13th and the 14th Amendments. Okay? That's important because you don't want to be under their constitutional fold. The reason why we were brought under their constitutional fold is because after the 13th Amendment was passed, which freed slavery, or abolished slavery, I should say, freed the slaves. What we didn't do that everybody else on the earth has done, all the other men have done for their people, was we didn't form back into a state. So therefore, we were given protection. We were given civil rights. You don't want civil rights. And let me explain to you why. When we start looking at the news and you start seeing stuff like what happened to Sonya Massey, the reason why stuff like this happens, these killings, is because these people are black. All right. And when I say that, I'm not talking about their skin color. When I say that they're black, I mean that's the term that was given to them because they did not form into a state, right? So therefore, they don't have a nationality, right? So therefore, they're not even recognized as human beings legally, right? And who has power over them? The people who granted them some sort of rights, some sort of protection to begin with, all right? So the same people who granted us this protection are the exact same people who, at any time they want, do whatever they want to you. The reason why is because of what I just told you, and that's why they get away with it. And that's why legally, we are not able to come together and do anything about it. It's because legally, you're not even recognized as a human. So you can only do something about this if you're part of a state. Because when one state when I say state at this point, I mean from an international perspective. So when one country tries to inflict pain on another country, this is how wars begin. All right. So, and before we even get to that point, there's international laws and regulations that create jurisdictions so that peace is kept, so that one nation is not trading on another nation. So you have to understand that your people have come together as a state. We came together as a state in 2015. So at this point, you're not only a subject, not only are you property, but you would be classified as stateless. If you want to know anything more about that, hit me up. I'll send you a ebook on being stateless so that you could have more understanding on what that term even means, because that's what you are now if you're black. You're either stateless or you're a refugee. You're both. You are a stateless refugee, I should say. All right. So with all that, what I'm saying is we have a state now. What you need to do to give you your descendants, and after you do this, you need to put your whatever living ancestors you have onto this too, because this is what our people have been waiting for. You have to remember how much fighting we did. And when I say we, I mean our ancestors. What we did for civil rights. And I just showed you examples of what civil rights gives us. Nothing, really. It doesn't give us any sort of protection. All right, so now we have a nation state. You are given the true protection that is yours. Human rights. You are now being treated like a human being. All right, that's what's granted to you when you get your nationality, among many other things. All right, so without kicking a dead horse, you already know what we hopping into. Moorish literature by the prophet Noble
Drew Ali.
Let's get it. We're going to hop into page 12. Number 10. A divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family, bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names. And remember what it means to be inferior. If you're inferior, that means that you don't have a legislative body. So if you're a so-called black person, you're stateless, so therefore you are outside of your constitutional fold that applies to your nation, which means that you are inferior. Okay, so this is what it means to be inferior. Okay, so continuing. And are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind, to their forefathers' divine and national principles, and they will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them: to be recognized by this to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege as has been the existing condition for many generations. So let me read that one more time, the last part. And through it, they and their children, and when he says through it, it's through the national divine movement, by the Moorish divine national movement. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights. Remember what we just talked about. Right now, you do not have divine rights because you're a you're a subject, you're property. Okay, through the 13th and 14th Amendment, you are a 13th and 14th Amendment citizen, but you're not even really a citizen. I'm being nice by saying that. Okay, so can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot. All right, so a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, right? And not under a granted privilege. So right now, there's nothing you can do to change your condition as an African American when you vote in their polls. You would be under a granted privilege. So obviously, Noble Drew Ali was talking about your national government. He wasn't talking about the United States functioning as the national government. He was talking about your national government, because he just said that one of the attributes of our divine rights would be that we cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution. Okay, so that means that you're not doing that right now as a United States citizen. And going to the Moorish Science Temple isn't going to help you do that. All right, so to continue. And not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards. And as he said, money doesn't make the man. This is important because when we talk about subjects like Kamala Harris bringing up reparations, if you accept reparations from the United States federal corporation, you will be brought under their jurisdiction once again under another contract of some sort. You cannot afford to go into 2025 and still be j- jumping into contracts with the United States Federal Corporation. As their government is declining before your very eyes, you have to understand that you need to separate as fast as possible, because legally, if they fall, you're falling with them, because you are their infrastructure, because the state is the people. All right. So money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards, the power that makes a man and a nation. And our president also says there truly is no reparations without reclamation. So the true money, the true wealth is not money. The true wealth is everything that comes with having your identity given back to you. Okay. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens. And I heard somebody in the more scientific whisper just now. All right. And like uh, I said in previous videos, and the president says, I'm just echoing what the president has taught us. And this is something that you could also just Google. All right. It's 2024. You can only have a nationality if you confer your nationality with the state. If you have not done that, you do not have a nationality. Like I just told you earlier in the video, you are a subject, you are a 14th Amendment citizen. You are Moorish conscious. You are not a Moorish American because you did not confer your nationality with this state. Okay. You have no true wealth, and I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again. To get them back to the constitutional fold again. What was he talking about? Was he talking about the United States? Previously, we were not with the United States. The problem is that we are in the United States. Okay, so what do you think he was talking about? What do you think? What do you think the divine and national movement is really about? If you're currently a United States citizen and getting that little card from the Moorish Science Temple isn't going to change your legal status, what do you think he was talking about? All right, let's move on. And I'm not giving you the answer. You got to use your brain cells. Like I said, it's 2024. If you don't know the answer, ask Google. Google will probably help you. Ask Siri. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens. And I just told you that you're not a citizen. You're a subject, you're property, you're a refugee, you're stateless. I already told you all this. So you're not even a citizen. So whatever a true citizen is, you're definitely not that. But I'm guessing a true citizen would be a national citizen like us, who are part of the United States of America Republic. We're national citizens. So that means that we were divinely appointed by Allah to be citizens on this landmass. Okay? So anybody who's here part of a de facto corporation, I would assume is not a true citizen. Okay? Including you, because you're part of a de facto corporation in your own land. That's a slap to your ancestors' face. Straight up. You have no true wealth, and I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government. And the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work. So he's saying we're supposed to have a free national government, and our Constitution was going to be the engine in this vehicle. That's what he said. Did you sign a Constitution? Did you even sign a state constitution? The state that you reside in? You got the identification card that says the state on the top of it. Did you even naturalize with them? I guarantee you did not. All right. Let's get into it. We're going to finish off with this paragraph because this is a long video, so we're going to chop it up. So we're almost done. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again. That they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. And remember, the United States of America is not the United States. So nothing about what I just read remotely sounds like you're supposed to remain a 13th or 14th Amendment subject to the United States. Nothing that I read sounds like you were supposed to continue doing that. Because right now you're considered a U.S. national anyway because you're not a real United States citizen. So he's not telling you to remain a United States national. He's talking about a free national government the entire time. That's powered by its constitution. This is what he's talking about the entire time. You can't mess this up unless you're doing it on purpose. So with that, we're gonna hop back into this book next time. So stay tuned. All right, peace
And love.